Hello everyone, welcome to Nesso Academy. We are learning theory of computation, and in this lecture, that is minimization of DFA introduction, we are going to understand one of the most important topics of TOC, that is minimization of a deterministic finite automata. This topic is extremely important for your semester or university examinations as well as for the competitive examinations like GATE. So without any further delay, let's start our lecture. The topic for this lecture is minimization of DFA. But we will not directly jump into the definition of DFA minimization. First, let's develop a basic intuition. So, suppose there are two students in classroom, student A and student B, and the teacher comes into the classroom and the teacher writes on the board a problem based on DFA construction. Basically, the language is given to the students and students need to draw the DFAs for that language. Now, both the students tried constructing the DFAs and finally they have constructed their DFAs. Student A constructed a DFA having 5 states to accept that language, and student B constructed the DFA having 4 states to accept that language. The teacher checked both of the DFAs and finally announced that both the DFAs are valid and correct DFAs. So this gives us a very important conclusion that for one language, there can be more than one DFAs possible. So there can be multiple DFAs possible for the same language. Now, if I ask you that which of the DFA is more efficient, the DFA constructed by student A having 5 states or the DFA constructed by student B having 4 states? So obviously, the DFA constructed by student B having 4 states will be more efficient. Why? Because it has less number of states. That is 4. 4 is less than 5. That is why the DFA having 4 states will be more efficient as compared to the DFA having 5 states, because it will require less memory to get stored. Also, it will have less implementation cost comparatively. That is why when we construct a DFA, we try to have the minimum possible number of states in that DFA. This is called as the minimization of DFA. And to minimize that DFA, we have two methods: partitioning algorithm and the table filling method. We will discuss more about these two methods in our upcoming lectures. So I hope you get a basic intuition regarding the minimization of DFA. So minimization of DFA means removing or reducing the number of states of the DFA. So there are multiple states in the DFA that are unnecessary or similar to other states. We can remove those redundant or unnecessary states from our DFA to make it more simpler, and that is called as the minimized version of the original DFA. Now you are all set to understand the formal definition of DFA minimization. The process of converting a DFA into an equivalent DFA having minimum number of states. So as I have just explained you, DFA minimization is the process of converting a DFA into an equivalent DFA having minimum possible number of states. So there is an original DFA having some number of states, and we try to reduce the number of states of that DFA in order to minimize that DFA. But the resulting DFA should be equivalent to the original DFA. What is equivalent? Let's understand. Two DFAs are said to be equivalent if they accept exactly the same language, which means when we get the minimized version of the original DFA, that should accept the same language as accepted by the original DFA. That is the meaning of equivalent. The resulting minimized DFA is always unique, as we have just understood that for a particular language, there can be multiple DFAs possible. But if I ask to construct the minimized DFA, that will always be 1 or unique. So, the resulting minimized DFA for any DFA is always unique. There cannot be multiple minimized DFA for the same language. I hope you have understood what is the minimization of a DFA. Now let's understand the need of minimizing a DFA. Removes unnecessary or redundant states from the DFA. So there are many states in the DFA that are unnecessary and unreachable states, which may include redundant states or the duplicate states also. So, using the DFA minimization methods, we remove the unnecessary or the duplicate states from the DFA to make our DFA more simpler. Simplifies the transition diagram and makes it easier to understand. So before minimization, a DFA can contain many number of states, and the transition diagram of DFA may look complex to us, which is difficult to understand. So after DFA minimization, the DFA becomes simplified. The transition diagram becomes simplified, and it is easier for us to understand that DFA. Third point is reduces memory requirement and implementation cost, and hence improves the efficiency of the automaton. So as we reduce the number of states of our DFA, obviously the memory required by the DFA will be reduced, as well as the implementation cost of the DFA will also be reduced, and that will improve the overall efficiency of our automata. So these were the 3 important needs of DFA minimization. Now let's understand how DFA minimization actually works. Concept of merging of states. DFA minimization works by identifying similar states and merging them together. So in DFA minimization, we first identify the similar states. The similar states means the states having the same behavior. And when we identify the similar states, we merge them together to form one single state. And suppose there are 2 states that are similar to each other. And when we combine those 2 states, we will have one single state in place of 2 states. So the total number of states will be reduced by 1. In this way, our DFA becomes minimized iteratively. Let's take an example. Suppose there are 2 states A and B in our original DFA. Now, these 2 states A and B are having the same kind of behavior. They are called as similar states. Why? Because both the states on getting the same input, that is 0, 1, gives us the final state C. So this is a kind of similar behavior. And that is why we can merge these 2 states to form a single state called as AB. And in this way, we have reduced the total number of states by 1. Initially, there were 2 states, and now there is only single state. In this way, the DFA minimization actually works by merging the states together. Such states are called equivalent states, and merging them does not change the language accepted by the DFA. So the states having the same kind of behavior can be merged together. Those states are called as equivalent states, and merging them does not change the language accepted by the DFA, which means the language accepted by the DFA before and after merging the equivalent states will be the same. But states that behave differently cannot be merged and are called as distinguishable states. So there are some states in the DFA that cannot be merged together because they have different behavior than each other. They are not similar states, and such states are called as distinguishable states, and they cannot be merged together to form a single state. So I hope the merging of the states as well as the concept of equivalent and distinguishable states is clear to you now. So now let's talk about the methods of DFA minimization. So we can perform DFA minimization by 2 methods. The first method is the partitioning algorithm, and the second method is the table filling method that is May-Hill-Nerod theorem. So in our upcoming lectures, we will understand both of these methods one by one. In the very next lecture, we are going to begin with the partitioning algorithm for DFA minimization. So in this way, we have completed our topic, minimization of DFA. And I hope you have understood the basic introduction of DFA minimization. So this was all from my side for this lecture. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lecture.